Sick game. Sick balance. What are you supposed to do against that? That's a high.
I mean, come on. Listen. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I mean,
Hey, what is going on, everybody? SenpaiRelax back at it again, and today we're going to be talking about the MainmanSWE's video about the Leffen controversy. I wanted to address this again because I think in the last video I wasn't exactly clear, and then I remember in this video he kind of addressed just the more toxic side of our community, and I wanted to show that how the nice side of our community addressed why they had problems with Leffens too. And the MainmanSWE said it before, he's open to debate, and you know, in high school I was the debate madness champion, so what's up, my guy? What's up? No, I'm just playing. That was a little cringy, but anyways, let's just get into the video. And yeah,
a lot of people are taking offense to things Leffen have to say about the game, and this is unfortunate. It's a thing I see a lot where you have these Tekken zealots on Twitter or Reddit, and whenever you share an opinion that is slightly negative on the game, you criticize the game, you know, in a certain aspect of a game, and people get incredibly defensive and see it as you being the problem and never the game Tekken. And this is very, very destructive and bad for the Tekken community. There's this very one-sided approach at looking at the game, and there's this consensus that Tekken is amazing, it does nothing wrong. If you have any problems with this game, or if you ever get salty playing Tekken, oh, you are the enemy.
so in the first clip, here's my problems with them is that, you know, I totally agree. There are Tekken zealots, people who don't think there's anything wrong with the game.
It's so much bigger than a video game. And anyone that ever uses the excuse it's just a game is a horrible human being.
And think that you need to fix yourself. And there will always be people like that in every fighting game community. But I don't like how especially how Leffen, you know, he says the Twitch, the Twitter, and the Reddit, which I don't know why you guys use Reddit. It's such a bad site in my opinion. But he says that Tekken is one of the worst crowds ever. And my thing is that you're generalizing the toxic side with the nice side, and we're just put together as just one big toxic community. And I don't like that at all, because there are people who I have seen people in his Twitch chat trying to help him get better at the game, helping him out, you know, giving him support and all this other stuff. And you guys just seem to focus on the negative side of our community. And my thing with that is that almost every fighting game community, any video game community in general has some toxicity to them. Doesn't matter if we're talking about Smash, doesn't matter if we're talking about Mortal Kombat, doesn't matter if we're talking about freaking Call of Duty, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. They're all there. And just to think that, you know, Mainman says something about how people are ridiculously defending like their game so hard. People are allowed to defend their game. Granted, Tekken, you are correct. Leffen, and you are correct about Tekken is not perfect. This game has various flaws. It has things that need to be fixed, stepping mechanics, all of that. You know, a lot of things that are just not there yet. And tutorial mode being garbage. You know, it's just not in tutorial mode like it even freaking exists in Tekken 7. It doesn't even exist. But here's the problem. Why majority of the community has a problem with Leffen is, one, how I said before, he generalizes the toxic side with the nice side, and two, he claims everything in this game is cheese. Like, it's like not everything with Tekken is cheese. I get that, you know, you may not know move 4,955 or some crap. I get it. It's difficult, but that's the heart of Tekken. It's known to be like that because it goes all the way back to Japanese fighting games and stuff. But like I said, that's Tekken for you. And to downplay everybody's decision making during a game, like,
Oh my god, he keeps fusing with that. That's save? Okay. What?
Because you ate what in one of my clips that I remember is Silent Entry 2 from Lars over and over. I don't get how that's cheese. It's something that you need to realize, and okay, this guy is doing this low over and over, and I need to realize how to stop this move, and that's it. That's all it is to it. Is you shouldn't call everything cheese. Because someone did a string on you doesn't mean it's cheese. Because someone grabbed you doesn't mean it's cheese. And I just think that's ridiculous, and something that we shouldn't be agreeing with at all. It's just not. You shouldn't come to somebody's fighting game community and call everything that is going on in general cheese or aka cheap. It just doesn't make sense to me, and I find it's crazy how MainmanSWE could agree with something like this. I don't agree with that. You know, you shouldn't, like, that's like if he did the same thing and walk, and you know how he said, I remember one time he did say he wanted to take some 7 days or something, and you know, just try out Smash and just see how he does. And my thing is, say if he did do that and he just, you know, he's on the stream and he's just like, yo, that's cheesy, that's trash, that's cheap, you know, just complaining, negativity building up, you know, complaining about everything that's going on, you know, cheap, oh, that's cheap, man, he did this, I never played against Diddy Kong in my life, who plays Diddy Kong in Smash, this, that. The Smash community would be mad. They would be mad. They would be upset. Like, why is this dude trashing our, like, he's saying everything about our game is cheap and cheat, and yet he's at the top of the view list for Smash and all this, and this is crazy. You don't think he's gonna get those Smash trolls who are like, yo, you're just straight garbage, you need to go do that, this, and that, and it's just ridiculous. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Just put this vice versa. All the things that has been said is just wrong, just completely wrong. The reason why people are having a hard time with Leffen is because he's addressing everything in a negative way. It's not because it's some part to do with it calling everything cheese, but at the same time, I can understand, you know, everyone gets frustrated. Somebody will call it like, that's trash, man. Like, why did I get hit by that? Why he even got this string? It's dumb. Why he got this dumb move? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, everyone gets frustrated. But my thing is, like, you can't just be always negative all the time. It doesn't have a good look. It doesn't have a good look.
The slightest controversial. You really have to be, you know, a completely, you know, tunnel vision Tekken zealot to get upset at him for this. But this is what I see so much, you know. Oh, you complain about labbing. Get good. Just lab the matchup. Lab the matchup. Like, that's something that's very easy to do. So many characters. Do you know how complicated it is to lab a Tekken character? And of course, it's completely true what he says. Like, if you don't own the DLC, you can't even lab them.
So we're going over how you know, labbing, and that is, no one said that would be easy. I think that's one of the most difficult things to grasp, is to figure out when to apply your punishes. But this all goes over time, because we all need to also remember that Leffen is in that head space that he is trying to become great at this game and master this game very quickly, because that's what he does for various other fighting games. And to realize that Tekken has so much stuff that you can't really do that quickly. Like, a lot of us have to look up, you know, just going back to some of his claims, you know, it doesn't help you teach. It doesn't teach you anything. And majority of us has to go to channels such as great channels that Bandai Namco still don't freaking promote at all, which is the Blasted Salami, people like Appalay and Kilo, who do beginner guides for such characters, you know, movement, all this addressed a lot. Please go to those channels. Those are very helpful. You got people like Anakin, who is similar to how Avoiding the Puddle was when it came to Tag 2, you know, giving us tip videos, things that we would use in high level situation. You got King J, who makes a bunch of, like, he has a whole, every single character played at a high level with a pro player explaining how to play said character. And then you have people who make videos on various characters specific. Like, I'm sure you can just, as soon as you type in your character, type in some tips and tricks or something, you can find these people. Like, I'm a Nina player. I watch a lot of Lionheart 100, who goes over setup guides and all that, and even combo videos. You got Tekken Killiams, who told me how to do Evil Miss. friendly tree who goes over how to punish every character with Nina. Like, those type of guys are dedicated. They are out there. And one thing I need to express for Leffen, if somehow he watches this video, is that please watch your matches over. Watching your matches over tells you a lot about yourself. It helps you fix the errors that you're having. If you don't watch your matches, it's really hard to grow. Really hard to grow in Tekken. When I started watching my matches, I realized how much times I didn't punish, or sometimes I just kept going back too much, spacing out a little too much. And those can really help you. And even just watching other people play your characters can build ideas for yourself. Like, I watch, both these characters kind of don't really play anymore, but they were very important to my growth as a Nina player. Rockstar 93 and Only Practice. Those guys, watching them how they play and how they build situations is very helpful. Is very, very helpful. So I wanted to say that, like, you need to watch your matches and build strategies around, this isn't a game that you can really, it just shows you scenarios. It's one of those games that helps. Like, if you just watching your matches over, it really helps and helps you realize what to watch out for. And along with this, I wanted to just go along and say, like, yes, I totally agree with Leffen. It's completely dumb that Tekken doesn't allow you to lab a DLC character. Like, that is just, it makes it 10 times harder, especially for characters such as, like, Zafina, Ganryu, who are, like, Marduk, and Fakuram and Leroy. For someone who doesn't buy the DLC, it's going to be so hard because you don't know exactly what's going on and you can't even test it. And labbing is a big and crucial part of this game, I have to say. It really is. It really is. It can be, especially if you want to achieve that high level. Now, I will go in later why it's not exactly all the way needed in terms of, like, intermediate and that stuff, but yeah.
Comes from games where one character doesn't have 100 different moves and strings. This game is super unforgiving. It throws you knowledge checks all the time. That's basically what Tekken Ranked is. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? That's what it is. All the time. And very, very few people actually manage to have all of this information. Not only they have all the data in their head, but they also have a muscle memory to recognize an animation, apply the proper punish. And do you know what those people, who those people are? It's those who have, like Pakistan and Korea, an offline community where you meet up all the time and you have players there who play all of the characters and you can practice against them all the time. To keep that knowledge and muscle memory fresh. If you play this game only online like I do, you can never master this game. It's impossible. Some characters you just see too seldom. It's just a quote a lot of people had trouble with, apparently, is that he said that there's more cheese in Tekken than in many other fighting games. And even high up in ranks, you can be carried by cheese. And fundamentals mean less in Tekken than they do in other games, fighting games, for an extended period of time, longer than you see in other games. And it's like, oh, yeah, I can probably agree to that.
Formula of mastering the game is, goes all the way back to originality of when the game started. Arcade scene, the devs are still stuck in the way of how they designed their game that, various moves, you get surprised by things and it just comes at you, and it's just one of those games that, like, you put the coin slot in and you beat a couple characters, but then you keep fighting these different characters and you have no idea what they're capable of. It's just something that's hard to grasp, and I think that's what makes Tekken, and it's just something that's built around Tekken. It's always been there. It's always been a such thing. And to further keep going, now let's move on to the topic of how the move list is super long or whatever. It's bigger than most games. He plays Smash, and it's I think they said it was like around 32 moves per character, a little bit basically with the way it's designed, but I'm not exactly sure on that. But let's go on to Tekken 7. Tekken 7 had new characters, move lists being very short. We have characters such as Kazumi, who had 51 moves at the start of Season 1, not counting 10 hit, normal throws with extended range, taunts, and side throws and back throws, not counting those. So 51 moves, and I remember back then a lot of people somewhat complained about the new characters' move list being pretty short compared to everybody else. They complained about that type of stuff. And it's like, why did you guys want more moves? Like, I get some characters like Shaheen, they felt like he was incomplete, but you know, I feel like sometimes certain things are like, can be viewed as incomplete or can be viewed as a weakness, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like certain times that was the case. And you know, there's still to this day people will always say like, how come every character since T6 only has a normal throw and a 1+2? Like, and especially since Tekken made it easier, so all you need to know is to break 1+2 and a 1. But the thing is, with that is, it's like, do you want more characters to have more depth when it comes to throws? Like, should this be a thing? Should we want more throws? Like, it's kind of like the community contradicts that part, and like we seem to forget that we even wanted those types of things. Like, we literally complained that we wanted Kazumi and further other Tekken 7 characters to have bigger move lists. Certain part of the community did, and that's, you know, and that wasn't just the toxic side or a good side, you know, it's everybody. So I feel like we need to address that too. Like, not exactly everybody was on par with said situations. And then he went on to say something about, you know, it's impossible to master this game online. I can agree to that, you know. Likewise, top players say if you don't know the character, you shouldn't win the matchup. And yeah, it's very hard, especially for Tekken 7, considering that it is like dang near Tag 2. And this is the reason why the game didn't sell well in the first place, because Tag 2 was super bloated, had way too many characters, but it's a tag game, that's why. And it's very hard when you have all these set moves. It makes the game really much more, 10 times more complex than, you know, when it's just 1v1. So, yeah, these reasons can make someone not want to play, especially when it's a 1v1 with 50 characters. It's hard. You're not going to run into the same characters over and over that much. Like, yes, there is some of those popular characters, but then you'll run into these ancients like Bob and Fang and Shaheen. Like, all these characters you never fight against. Rest or Raven. Even my character, Nina. Like, when do you see these characters? Never. Never. You rarely see them. So you may just get blown up by some thing just because you don't know. And I can understand that frustration. It's hard, but once again, let's talk about, you know, the hardness and stuff that's hard. You know, it's kind of just about, Tekken is built around this ability, in my opinion, to just adapt, to learn these situations as you go throughout the matchup. Because just like how I said, you know, the originality is from a coin slot. You know, you keep playing until you finally win. You know, you try to realize through these few rounds, what is my opponent capable of? What is my opponent using against me currently? If I don't know, I should just start pressuring. I should start doing this. Like, you just try to learn, like, what is plus, what's step, what's duck, what do I interrupt? You have to test things, and that's what this game is really about. So, yeah, it's one of these games that you just gotta test. It's like a chemistry class. You're just testing a bunch of stuff. So, once again, I wanted to reiterate, I agree with Leffen. This game is too bloated, but I have it has a variety of moves that make it complex. And I think this is that design in itself is just something that appeals to some of us and doesn't appeal to a lot of us. So it's kind of a love-hate that you have for the game. Like, I play against this Yoshi player who, when I first played him, like, I played against him so many times now, but when I first played him, I had no clue what Yoshi was capable of. Like, every time every other match, I was just like, what the heck was that? Like, how did he can do that, he can do this. It's just something, but I found it cool. So some people, they may find that frustrating and dumb and annoying. Like, why do I have to adjust to all these things? And to me, I find it cool. It was just more to me for me to experiment with the game. made me get excited, I guess. But that's everybody's different opinion. Another thing I wanted to tackle over was that not everyone spends that much time in a lab than you think. Like, even pro players such as Jimmy J Tran even said, like, a lot of people think I spend a lot of time in the lab, but he simply doesn't. And someone like Pokechop, who he didn't even really care about frames, and this is when he's a tournament player. He doesn't really even care. He just kind of guessed and thought about it, like, oh well, I get this off of that. He experimented. That's why I said what I said earlier. People kind of experiment with the game. And in this really conclusion of what I feel about Leffen is that I just think that the guy is frustrated because he's trying to get good at this game very quickly and master it so fast, and that's just not gonna happen, because Tekken is just one of those games you just can't force that to happen really quickly. It's just not gonna work out. It's not one of those games you can easily just become a knee in that fucking fast. It's just not gonna happen. It's not one of those games you could just become pro so quickly. It's just not. So you kind of got to find a love for the game and what do you like, and try to figure out what exactly is your angle of figuring out certain situations and stuff. So it's just one of those games. And yeah.
Yeah, I know, Ransko. I just need matchup knowledge, but I mean, that's the game. I know that most top level players are not better than me fundamentally. They just have a lot of cheese on me. And I feel like if I learn the common matchups, like, I could definitely compete with a lot of them. The game isn't that complicated or hard once you know the shit, but I don't know the shit.
I don't even think I need to really go into this clip just to show how delusional he is. But let me just give an example of another person. They are extremely talented in almost every other FG game that I know. Sonic Fox is... They are just incredible. They are incredible. They have been playing the game as well recently, during the COVIDness. They've been playing, and they've been playing against, I believe, the two main streamers I watch, Cuddlecore and Little Majin. They have played against both of them, and they have done pretty well. But have you ever catched Sonic Fox saying anything as ignorant and cocky as Leffen after that clip? He has never said anything, or he hasn't even stirred up controversy. You know what I'm saying? They have really just took the game as it is and adapted, and they play as many characters. They play a bunch of characters. They come back and play a bunch of characters against Cuddlecore and Little Majin, and I think they're having their character crisis. But them, for example, they just play really well. So to wrap things up, I just wanted to say that I totally agree, Leffen, Mainman, whatever one watches this video, that yes, Tekken is flawed. It's not perfect. It still has problems. But to digest exactly what is the problem with Leffen's encounter with the Tekken community is that you can't be so negative about the game and expect people to be happy, and not to expect anybody, not to say that all the people who call you a bitch or defame your character in any sort of way, those people are not okay. Those people are people that you should ignore, and they're always in every community. That's one thing I want to put out there. But lastly, yes, once again, I do agree everyone is entitled to have opinions, and I would love to have a good more discussion, debate about this type of stuff. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a nice day, and peace.